You know something else that might dominate dinner tables here coming up in the holidays in December? Maybe even it just did at Thanksgiving. I don't know, because we're still in the swing of what I'm about to talk about. This NBA in-season tournament has been subject to a lot of scrutiny and also a lot of, I think, really constructive ways on how to make it better. Like, you can say what you want about the Tyrese Halliburton, like, you should get a playoff spot take. I think he's kind of onto something there, because I think you really, really want to make this thing worth it. The truth is, I think in 3 years, whatever you think about it right now, I promise most people are going to love it. I think in 3 years, if the NBA really cares about this thing and really does it the right way, people are going to love this thing. They're going to lose their minds for it. And part of how you get to that point is by making it something that, you know, feels really consequential, that feels really important. We can talk about that a little bit more in a second. But in order to get to that point, I got one thing that the league can do. They can send out a memo to like Bally Sports offices or whoever the broadcasting partner ends up being, the syndicate, in like a year when Bally is dead. Thank God, finally. The witch is dead. Bally Sports is dead. But in the meantime, they need to send out a memo that like contains the proper language that they want these broadcast teams using in order to advertise this product. Because when I turn on the Pistons-Sixers game from like 2 weeks ago, and they're like describing how the in-season tournament works, and the Sixers color commentator is like, it kind of works like the Champions League in Europe. It's kind of like that. The atmosphere is kind of going to be this. I'm like, what? No. Like, no. That's not even a little bit close. That's not even a little bit true. Because if you're selling it like that, then yeah, I think it's must-see TV. The truth is that it's just the same shit. It's the same. They're not playing any extra games. Most of these teams are not playing any extra games. If you do well in it, you play what, like 2 extra games? 3 extra games at most? Like, okay, well, it's $1 million, so I don't feel that bad. The only other difference is what? The courts are like more dangerous. Guys are more susceptible to getting their knees fucking blown out because of these courts, I guess. But I'm telling you, dude, they gotta do something. They have to get everybody on the same page with how to talk about this thing. And they just have to loop the players in on how it fucking works. That's going to be a pretty crucial piece of this puzzle here. A pretty crucial cog in the machine is making sure that the players actually understand what the fuck is going on. Because it's clear that half of them don't. Which is like fine, again, because this product is in its infancy. I do think that they're going to care about this, and I do think that they're going to do, like, it seems like such an Adam Silver thing to do, right? Although he kind of tried to fuck with the All-Star game, and he's kind of already admitted that that didn't work, like, at all. So, honestly, maybe in 3 years, they kind of can this thing, and they act like it never happened. And it kind of just becomes one of those things that in 15 years we're going to romanticize and talk about like it was this extravagant, like, we need this thing, you know? But if they do stay this course, let's entertain the idea that, you know, you get an automatic playoff bid. Well, you know, the thing that the league has to do there is find a way to circumvent load management even more than they're already trying. Because it's clear that the league is at least trying to crack down on it, how effective it's been and how effective, like Adam Silver's like, well, the data would suggest, like, is it, can we see it? Is that available? I don't know. Is it publicly available? I don't know. But if I'm the Lakers, for example, and I win the in-season tournament, the present-day Lakers, if I know in fucking late November, early December that I'm already in the playoffs, I am load managing the shit out of my guys for the next 6 months, you know? Unless the league has a strict, like, hey, if you are the team, maybe it's exclusive to the team that wins, honestly. Like, you will be penalized more. You'll get fined even harder. I don't know. I think that's the avenue, right? Is you basically put a sanction on the team that won that said, hey, you are in the playoffs, but, like, you have to get there, you know? You can't win 30 games and be like, well, won the in-season tournament. And what does that constitute, a playoff spot? Does that guarantee that you're not in the play-in? Or does it guarantee that you're in the play-in? Because if a bad team fucks around and wins and they've won, like if they've won 25 games, but 6 of them were in the in-season tournament, you know, does that guarantee them like the 6 seed? What would they have to be? So it's 8 versus 10. I'm sorry, 7 versus 10 and then 9 versus 8, right? Yeah, so they would have to be the 6 seed. That's insane. You can't do that. So it would have to be the lowest or the highest, however you want to phrase this, play-in seed. So you would be 7, I feel like, where you still have the advantage if you only have to win one time and you're officially in the playoffs playing the 2 seed. And you're at home, right? I think that's how you do it. Did people hate that idea? I read it and assumed that people were going to hate that idea. I never saw anybody, I never saw discourse on it. I really hope people are on board with that, and I really hope that the NBA pursues it.
Computers now have
Let's move on.
Control.
Beautiful, beautiful,
Primary control.
beautiful,
Primary control.
beautiful.
Primary control.